Hey everyone, how's it going? This is going to be a little bit of a different video, not by design, but kind of by circumstance, because what you don't see around you here is a lot of vinyl that came into my house this week, and I'll get to that in 1 second. Also, just for 1 quick minute, I'm going to reference my last video, my rant video, that I took down, and I'll tell you about that in 1 second. It kind of wraps up really nicely, so stay tuned for that. What you're listening to, put my coffee down. Where is it? This is a total random pull. If you have a lot of records, sometimes a random pull when you can't decide. I know sometimes I see on Facebook some people post a total random pull, and it's like the hippest of hip albums. So you think, man, you must only own 5 albums if that's what you're randomly pulling out. I don't know. Anyways, that kind of went nowhere. Thrift's greatest hits. That is a complete random pull. It's a 4-album set. It's kind of like that was this when I was in music retail around this time. This was like the compilation to own. Apparently, I sold hundreds and hundreds of this one, and it's kind of like at the time I was kind of embarrassed to tell my friends that I liked it. Though it was kind of like a guilty pleasure, but I don't know. I don't believe in guilty pleasures anymore. I kind of like that was when Death Row was huge at the time. And it really kind of, I think it's soaked in or something, because I really have an affinity for that kind of, that era of hip-hop. A long explanation to tell you that's what I'm listening to. Death Row's greatest hits. If you don't like rap, just tune it out, like you do me. Anyways, this video is different in the sense that, A, I wasn't going to make it. And I'm not trying to be dramatic and pander. I really kind of wasn't. But I got a record collection I bought, and then I had a lot of thrift store finds. What we're going to do is we're going to flip a coin. And I just thought of that before I clicked record, honest to God. So I happen to have a loonie in my pocket. A loonie is $1 for all of you who don't know. It's a Canadian $1 coin. But quickly, really quickly, for those of you who saw my rant video, and there was, like I said, there was a lot who saw it, I could not believe the response I got for people who was in the same predicament I was. By the way, that's for this guy who watches my videos. Yeah, a lot of people messaged me locally, U.S., other places in the world. So a lot of kind of dots connected, and long story short, we kind of know who it is. I'm not going to say. I'm not religious, but I have a deep belief in karma. And I'm going to leave it at that. So please don't ask who it is and all that. Trust me, you know, I can't really say too much without kind of, you know, giving shit away. But yeah, it's all wrapped up really nicely. So I want to thank everyone who watched that video, who offered support, and in retrospect, it kind of came off a little bit pandering, I guess, maybe, or a little bit whiny, but it was some pretty awful shit. And if you're watching, guy, you know what you did. Anyways, so I want to thank everyone, and for all the people who sent me like lots of messages trying to figure out who this person is. I want to thank you very much, because it wasn't just me. It was the effort of a lot of people. So thank you. And if nothing else, I never really ever want to appear pandering, because God knows do I hate those people on Facebook and social media. And you know, and you just know they're pandering for the likes and the pat on the backs, and you know the people I'm talking about. Anyways, sorry, Richie. Vinyl Richie, if you're watching this is going to be another long intro. Sorry, buddy. I love your videos. A loonie. Really quickly, I don't know which one, regardless of what we do, I'm going to show you the few new releases I got in the mail. But, like I said, I bought a record collection, and then thrift store finds. Whew, unreal. This, my friends, if you're not in Canada, is a Canadian loonie. On one side you have a duck, and someone's going to correct me. Is it a loon? Some kind of a duck. That's why we call it a loonie. The other side is the Queen Elizabeth. I'm probably wrong on that too. Anyways, we're going to flip this. Heads is going to be the record collection. Tails is going to be thrift store finds. Okay, so we're going to do this honestly. Because if I showed you everything, I don't have enough memory on this device I'm recording on. And honest to God, it would be the longest. Honestly, it's like my videos are long enough as it is, isn't it? So let's do this. Heads is the record collection. Tails is thrift store finds. That was awkward, wasn't it? Let's do it one more time. And I dropped it. This is not going too well, is it? All right, ready? It is. It's the duck or the loon. Loony? God, I'm so un-Canadian, aren't I? Sorry. We're gonna go for the record. We're gonna go for the thrift store finds, which is gonna leave one hell of a video for this record collection I bought. Damn. Let's get right to this. This is what came in this week. Brand new albums. Kind of in theme with the Death Row's greatest hits. Not that this is hip hop, but this is something that you know, it's not the coolest of cool things to show, but I'm amazed at a lot of people I watch who reference the Pet Shop Boys. People you would never think who are into prog, psych, just any kind of. I don't. It seems the Pet Shop Boys seem to cross a lot of, I don't know, demographics, I guess. Anyways, they're reissuing all their albums on vinyl, and there's some later ones I never ever picked up on vinyl. So what I got really quickly is I got the two new ones that came out last week. Was Fundamental. I believe this was produced by Trevor Horn. We all know, you might know who Trevor Horn is. Producer of Yes and Pet Shop Boys and many other fine albums. Of the two, this is probably my favorite of the Pet Shop Boys, is Fundamental. And the other one was Nightlife. These were the two new reissues that came out on vinyl, not CD, not 8-track, not cassette. Not reel to reel. Vinyl. Yeah, not much to say about it. Pet Shop Boys. If you like them, you like them. If you don't, you don't. New releases. I got one more. Continuing on with the Iron Maiden reissues. And I thought I had this one. And then a good pre-order price came up. And I scrambled to my collection to look, and I didn't have it. It was Flight 666, the live album. From Iron Maiden. So one more into the collector's box. If you saw my live Iron Maiden unboxing of that massive, which I'm not pulling down for you. 666, I haven't had a chance to open this up. Because if you saw all the vinyl sitting in front of you that you can't see, you'd understand why I'm, you know, Iron Maiden. Why I haven't gotten to all the vinyl yet. Just between cleaning and bagging and all that. All right. Thrift store finds. I'm going to start with this one. I'm going to peak early, which is kind of my thing in life, isn't it? Hi, honey, if my wife's watching. Possibly one of the greatest thrift store finds I've ever had in my life. And if you're on the YouTube vinyl community, on Facebook, you'll see me post this photo of it. I couldn't believe it, that there's a big dollar sticker on it. Currently, this version of this album is rare enough as it is to find an original copy, but to find this rare orange label variant, real nerdy stuff, it's impossible. And the last one that sold on Discogs was like 100 and maybe 125 Canadian. Regardless, Tragically Hip's first album when they were on RCA Records. Finding that version of the album is incredibly hard. Finding original copies of Tragically Hip albums is incredibly hard. But I walked into a thrift store, and behind a couple albums, there was this for $1. This is, I'm not going to take it out, but it's the orange label. And the orange label variant, I guess, is pretty damn rare. So I found this. Over the last 5 years, this is the third original Tragically Hip album I found in thrift stores. And, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just kind of, because I spend my life in thrift stores, I don't know. But anyways, the Tragically Hip's first album on RCA, the orange label, that was maybe one of my greatest thrift store finds of all time. All right. I'm going to try to make these in some kind of order, speed this along. Some are bagged, some aren't bagged. I'm running out of bags. And I can't wait till Christmas, so I'm going to have to suck it up and buy another box of bags here. But Neil Young, Old Ways. Sorry, Billy, if you're watching. A Neil Young album, I know. Old Ways. I found this one last Saturday. For those of you who don't know, this was his country music album. Willie Nelson's on this album, amongst others. I played it once. It's pretty decent. It's okay. It's not really the Neil Young that I kind of like, but, you know, gotta have them all. And that's how you end up with this problem. Gotta have them all. So Neil Young, Old Ways. This was the next three. These were from, I'm going to preface this all by saying that there are a couple online ads that I answered, but it's thrift store prices. So let's just call it all thrift store prices, I guess. I answered an online ad, and I couldn't figure out why no one was answering this ad. Once again, I think it's like my last video where this lady lived out of town, not far away out of town. Maybe no one wanted to travel. Maybe it's summer, people are camping. I don't know. But these were $3 each. That was an awkward pause, wasn't it? Sorry. John Lennon's collection. I already have this one, but I mean, there was the other two that I'm going to show you that I wanted. She asked me if I wanted this one for like $9 for all three. Yep, I'm going to take it. So John Lennon's collection. This will find a good home somewhere. There you go. I've never owned. I have the recently reissued picture disc of this album. I've never actually owned a really, really good condition copy of this album. And this woman promised me these next two albums were in excellent condition, and they were. So it's not the rarest of albums, obviously, but I don't know why it's hard. I think people just played them until they got roached. Jay from Vinyl Nevada, I'm stealing your term, roached. Sorry. I love it so much. Blizzard of Oz. And this is like an amazingly clean copy. It's an original Jet Records pressing. Not the original inner, but you can see the Jet Records label there. Just beautiful condition. I played it when I first got it, and it's just wonderful. So I got that, and then she had a copy of, this is the most random stuff this woman had, Black Sabbath Live at Last. One of the few Sabbath albums I don't own on vinyl. Don't need to explain what this is. Just it was a kind of a semi-official live album from the Aussie years. Since then, it's actually seen official release, but I'm trying to keep my stories down to a minimum today, or explanations of what I'm showing you here. This is kind of out of order because it's another Pet Shop Boys album. You know what? I'm well-rounded, if nothing else. But I found this at a thrift store with a bunch of other stuff you're going to see, and I was kind of hedging because I couldn't remember if I had it or not. And my wife just said, she said, "Dave, it's like $1. What are you stressing about? If you don't have it, you can find some other home for it." So once again, my wife makes sense, and I kind of look at her like, wow, why didn't I think of that? Introspective. I thought I had this one, and I was confusing this with their disco album, as they're both kind of like extended versions of songs. But this kind of was the missing piece of my kind of like that early period of Pet Shop Boys. So I got that. Now this is random, because I still don't know what this is. This album is not on Discogs. And when I see a Japanese album at a thrift store with an Obi strip, and it's not on Discogs, and curiosity got the best of me, and it was $1, and it's in excellent condition, and I still don't know what it is because it's not on Discogs. So unless you read Japanese, I don't know. I can't even tell you what this is. Why am I showing you? I don't know. But it's a Japanese kind of traditional pop album, and there's no listing on the internet anywhere for this. It's on Philips Records from Japan. If this looks familiar to you, let me know, because I can't find anything about it. There you go. Just curiosity. Japanese album. No listings for it anywhere. There was $1. Why not? This kind of more goes along with the Pet Shop Boys because it's soft sell. But this is non-stop ecstatic dancing, kind of like the companion piece to their first album. Kind of like extended versions of some songs off their first album. So that was a thrift store find for $1. Oh, and there's so many records around me. I swear to Christ, I'm going to be on an episode of Hoarders soon. Honestly. Okay. Okay. These next kind of albums kind of are a little bit of a theme here. This, I think I showed you the CD for this a couple of videos ago. And then I found an upgrade copy on vinyl. Original pressing in the gatefold sleeve. Not that it matters. Once again, more nerd stuff for you. It's Fioris again. I'm not going to pronounce the name because last time I showed you the CD, I kind of butchered it. I'm not going to explain it because I did it. If you go back a few videos and you can see where I showed you the CD of it. Remains probably my favorite Canadian progressive rock album ever. It might even be better than most Rush albums. It's totally different. This is more kind of the folky progressive rock. But just the most amazing French language progressive rock album you'll ever hear. And then tied in with that, like I said, these are all $1. I got one, okay, so one, I guess I'm kind of lying to you now because one of these came in this record collection and one came in a thrift store find. And they were separated by a day. This is Seguin from the Fiori Seguin, one of his awesome solo albums, and I found like a thrift store record collection. So one's got to go. I don't got room for two. Anyways, just a wonderful, once again, more of a folk progressive sound. But this is the Seguin from the Fiori Seguin solo album he made. There you go. Trying to power through this for you. There's some really good stuff coming up, trust me. If you thought the stuff already I've shown you is crap, just hang on. There's more crap coming. An album I don't even know by the Beach Boys, Smiley Smile. A lot of the songs on it I know. I'm guessing it's a compilation. I could be wrong there. It's a mono pressing. Good Vibrations I know, obviously. But most of the other songs I don't know, and I've honestly not bothered to look it up yet. But Smiley Smile by the Beach Boys, I found for $1. Really excited to find this one, not because it's incredibly valuable or anything. It's just whenever I find late 60s, early 70s Canadian albums on the Red Atlantic label, I don't know why I like that label. It's just odd. It's very uniquely Canadian because I think that was the only country that used that Red Atlantic label. I got Led Zeppelin, first pressing Led Zeppelins that were on that Red Atlantic label. But Aretha Franklin live at the Fillmore West. And I think this was 1970, 71 around there. Just a great live album from the Fillmore West. I'm not going to profess to be the greatest Aretha Franklin fan in the world, but for live albums, just amazing. So that was and it's a really nice clean copy too. So I played that a couple times in a row, and it's Aretha Franklin in their early 70s. Like it's amazing. Okay. This might be the oddest, well, the Japanese one was pretty odd. At least I know who this artist is. This is probably one of the oddest finds I've ever had. There's no listing on Discogs for it. I've kind of thrown it out to vinyl communities, and no one knows anything about this album, this pressing. I wish it was the Vertigo Swirl one. It's not. It's the Fontana. It says Fontana, a Vertigo production, so I'm guessing Fontana might have been distributed by Vertigo at the time. Rod Stewart, An Old Raincoat Won't Ever Let You Down. Okay, so honestly, that's kind of rare enough to find anyways. What is the rare thing about this is that this is a Colombian pressing it's a Colombian pressing from Canada. From Colombia. This was $1. And I would have bought it regardless, but nowhere on Discogs can I, not that the Discogs is the be all and end all. It's kind of like, it's a good starting point. But look at that. All the titles are kind of, I don't know if you're going to see that or not. It's kind of all a hybrid English Colombian language thing. Shows my ignorance right now. I don't know what language they speak there. Colombian. I know. I just worked all night. Come on. Anyways, I'm not going to call it undocumented, but a mono pressing from Colombia. That was just probably maybe the most bizarre find I've had in a while. Booker T and the MGs. Another Red Atlantic label one, actually, oddly enough. The best of. It's still in the shrink, actually. I think this was 1968. And how I know that, it says 1968 on the back. So, there you go. Anyways, this was a beautiful condition copy in the shrink. Red Atlantic label. I've already told you, I kind of get a boner for those labels. Yeah, that was a really nice pickup. And I found a couple Rush albums. And one of them, Moving Pictures, I can see it sitting way over there. And I'm not going to go jump over vinyl to grab it. But trust me, there was 2 Rush albums I found. One is over there. And I found a really, really nice upgrade of Permanent Waves. I posted this on Facebook and someone had asked me what variant of cover is it. And for a guy having all the Rush albums, I didn't know there was variants. But I guess the newspaper headline started off as one thing and then it got altered to a different thing. And in the background here, originally there was Coca-Cola sign. And Coca-Cola complained. So they replaced the Coca-Cola lettering with the band members' names in the same font. And this one says Dewey defeats Truman. And it's the second one where they changed the Y into an I. And this is, once again, more nerd shit for you. Really nice copy of Permanent Waves, which is an upgrade copy for me. I feel like I'm talking too fast again. An album I know nothing about. I know the guy, John Fahey. This is a copy on Tacoma Records, oddly enough. Old Fashioned Love. And, well, it's John Fahey and his orchestra. How about I show you the album? Just bought it because it says John Fahey on it. I don't know this album, Old Fashioned Love. So I've yet to spin this one, so I'm kind of looking forward to spinning this one, see what the hell it is. If you know this album, let me know. 3, oh man, just really cool finds, and I'm going to screw up this guy's name. Well, one of the guy's names on here. So I'm going to show it to you, and I'm not going to bother butchering the name. Anyways, I'll get to that one in a second. I found 3 Beggar's Banquet albums. Or maybe some are 4AD records, actually. But let's just show it to you. Peter Murphy, Deep. I already have this one. This is a nice upgrade copy for me. I've never ever seen this in the wild or at thrift stores, to be honest with you. I bought mine when it first came out. David Sylvian. I found 2 David Sylvian albums with the Peter Murphy album. One is called Orpheus. And I think this is just on Virgin Records. I thought it was 4AD, but it's actually just Virgin Records. And this is the one I'm going to butcher someone's name. It's David Sylvian and Holger. You know what I'm talking about. Called Plight and Premonition. And was Holger... There you go. Read that name there. Someone's going to correct me. I believe he's from Cannes, isn't he? Am I wrong? I've not researched this. I've not researched this yet, and I've not bothered to look before I record this video. But I believe he's from Cannes, isn't he? Could be wrong. Anyways, 2 David Sylvian albums and a Peter Murphy album for $1 each. I'm gonna blow through these. Some of these I'll get to them in a second. Some of them I wasn't sure if I showed you because I don't show you everything I get. Just to, you know, if I did, there'd be hour-long videos, not half-hour-long videos. Really nice upgrade copy of Santana's Abraxas, original pressing. This one was just really cool. It's intended to be a kid's album, but once I listened to it, it's really not. It's kind of like the history of jazz. And I'll show it to you. It's a child's introduction to jazz. It's narrated by Cannonball Adderley. And it's on Wonderland Records, which was a subsidiary of Riverside Records, a well-known jazz label. But it's Cannonball Adderley narrating kind of like what the history of jazz is at the time. This was like this is gotta be early 60s. But there's a lot of well-known music and artists like, you know, Thelonious Monk's on it, Louis Armstrong, Jelly Roll Morton. I'm stumbling now. I'm getting to the end of this video. I can tell. I'm going to fall asleep right away. But it ends up, it's just kind of more like an audio documentary on the history of jazz up until the early 60s. And they play lots of really good music in it. And that was a pretty cool find, I thought, for $1. Once again, something I don't know anything about until I played it, and then I put it up on a progressive rock site that I frequent on Facebook, and people seem to really kind of freak out that I found a copy at a thrift store. This was only pressed in the Netherlands, but I believe it's a Latin American band. This is from the early 70s. It's called Caneros. I'm going to screw this up again. Anyways, the album's called Psychos. Caneros? Anyways, you have a look here. You decide. See, I don't have any friends to talk records with other than you all. So it's not like, someone could correct me on this in person. Caneros? I'm going to give up on it now. Anyways, Cycles, double album. It's symphonic rock, but it's kind of like, it's based upon Vivaldi's Four Seasons. And I played it kind of with trepidation. A lot of Yes albums is the furthest I'll go with symphonic rock. And I really enjoyed it. It's kind of a little bit more of the rock than symphonic, if you know what I'm talking about. About maybe 60-40. Anyways, really good double album. Obviously, there's only ever been one pressing of this in the Netherlands. It's never been repressed. What that is doing in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, I have no idea. And I think someone who put this out of the thrift store just thought it was just a regular classical album. Slapped a dollar sticker on it. Okay, so the next three are going to be ones I'm not sure if I showed you. Because like I said, I don't show you everything. But I have a feeling I did. Anyways, I found a copy. The covers are kind of roached. But Tangerine Dream Rubicon. I found a copy of that. Like I said, the cover is a little bit the vinyl's really nice. It's an original Virgin Records pressing. And then Amon Duel 2 made in Germany. Once again, you can see the cover is a little bit This is a Adco Records pressing for those of you in the know. Vinyl. I already have a copy of this, but I wasn't going to turn it down for $1. I know someone. These albums are hard enough to find, anyways. I know someone would be happy to have this, even with that cover. But the vinyl's nice, and this the sound from the Lion's Mouth. And I'm thinking I didn't show these a couple of videos ago, but there you go. I found that at a Goodwill store, actually. And the 1910 Fruit Gum Company Goody Goody Gumdrops. I'm not sure if I showed you that one either. I think we all know the 1910. Well, I always say that, and someone says I don't know them. But what was their big song now? Yummy, 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 or Chewy, 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 or I think Indian Giver. I think the Ramones covered one of their songs called Indian Giver. Once again, I could be wrong. Last one. I knew nothing about this album, and it was $1. Went on Discogs, and it seems to be quite the desired album. And it has, this must be the original Elektra Records logo. It's a gold Elektra Records pressing. But I'll show you the logo there. Anyways, it's a guy called Fred Neil, and it's called Bleecker and McDougall. And I know nothing about it, and I haven't played it yet. In fact, I just cleaned it last night, and it's sitting in my drying rack over there with all my other records that you can't see over there that I've cleaned and drying. Yeah, I'm looking forward to listening to this one. I've read nothing but incredible things about this album on the internet. So once we're done here, I'm going to clean that off and give it a spin. Or maybe go to bed is probably a better idea, actually. But if you know Fred Neil, let me know this album. It's a really nice, beautiful original copy on Elektra. Maybe I should have done this video. Yeah, I think exhaustion is catching up to me. Anyways, what are we at here? Yeah, we're gonna try to end this right now. Thanks again, everyone. I just passed 900 subs. I don't know. Thank you. I always say this. Now I'm pandering. Thank you very much for watching and for subbing. It means a lot to me. And we're going to see you again next time, unless something happens. Who knows in my life. And we're going to show off this record collection I got right here. Oh, should I preview it? Oh, nah, it's just a box. But there you go. Big U-Haul box of vinyl. Ugh. That's going to be next video. So take care, everyone. We'll see you around.